I'm most proud of myself for being able to overcome. I'm most proud of myself for being able to still raise intelligent, strong-minded kids throughout the whole entire process by myself.
All right, welcome back everybody. We're back in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We're here with Chanel. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, and yourself?
Very good, Chanel.
Thank
you for asking.
Of course.
May I ask you how old you are?
I'm 34.
34. And do you give us permission to use this video on our YouTube channel?
I do.
Let's just start from the beginning. Where were you born?
I was born in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minneapolis. And then did you grow up there too?
I did not. I grew up here in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to school out here?
I did.
All right. Tell me what your school life was like.
School life was short. I didn't spend too much time in school, actually. You know, I dropped out when I was in the 9th grade. And I started, dipping and dabbling in drugs until I eventually ended up at a adult high school where I also fell back into drugs.
All right. Did you grow up with both parents?
I did. My father died when I was 13.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So you started dabbling in drugs about 14 after your father died?
Yes.
Do you think that was one of the reasons you started getting into drugs?
I think that was one of the reasons. When he died, basically, I kind of just didn't know what to do. I was really close with him. So I started hanging out with older people. And, of course, that's what they would do. And, one thing leads to another.
Do you have any kids, Chanel?
I do.
How many kids do you have?
I have 4.
Or do they live with you?
Right now, they do not.
Okay.
But I'm in the process of getting them back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long were you struggling?
For a long time. I guess I can say about 13, 14 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what led you to sobriety?
What led me to sobriety was seeing my children grow up in the environment they were growing up in. Of course, my kids, they grew up around me and my ex-husband doing drugs, so they kind of knew the signs. Even though it was hidden, they kind of knew that we were probably outside of the average family. And me just noticing that they noticed what I was doing, and they would talk to me about it, and they had their, their own unique feelings about being around me or me being around their friends, and I noticed that. So that kind of helped me overcome.
What'd you do exactly?
To overcome?
Yeah.
I attempted to go to rehab. That didn't work.
Okay.
And so basically I just went back and forth on drugs until, one day I just decided I'm just going to put it down. I'm going to yell at it. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to do whatever I have to do. And eventually that worked. Yeah. Eventually it worked, yeah. I never had to go to rehab or anything, but I had a lot of support through it.
Congratulations. I'm so
Thank you.
proud of you. And why don't you tell us how I met you?
I actually asked for a ride, or I was asking for directions.
I can tell you wanted to ride.
Yeah, I was asking for directions to a job interview. I couldn't find the place, and
I gotta say no to that.
Right,
Yeah.
and I appreciate you for that. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. We started talking in the car, and you told me you're, you don't appear to have any problems, and you just offered to give us some background about yourself.
Yeah.
You're struggling. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I really congratulate you.
Thank you.
When you were an addict, when you were active in your addiction, how did you make money?
I didn't. I worked. And when I didn't have money, of course, this is how it goes. You pawn your things, like your jewelry, your TVs, whatever you can basically find. Of course, if you know somebody who knows how to street hustle, that's what they'll do, and then they'll bring it to you. But if I didn't have money, I wouldn't get it. When I worked, I wouldn't get it, and then eventually I just ended up getting it again until.
Did you burn a lot of bridges while you were an addict with family and friends?
Probably.
Yeah.
I definitely tried not to. I was a closet addict.
Okay.
I definitely stayed very closed in and away from people because I didn't want to hurt anybody and I didn't want them to know. Okay. So I stayed pretty private.
Did you do anyone dirty back then?
Probably. Throughout all over the years, yeah, I've probably stolen some things. I've probably lied, but nothing too major.
Okay, did you make amends or you're in that process?
I'm still in that process. I think that's a process that continues forward.
Oh, I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
I still have many people to apologize to.
Right.
Did you go through NA or no?
I did. I took a couple classes.
Okay.
A couple classes. I felt like it wasn't for me. It was uncomfortable. And then I had some counseling. I tried some counseling too. I talked to a lot of people over the years. Even if it wasn't like for drugs or whatever, I have talked to definitely multiple counselors that have definitely helped me through it because they have that experience.
What would you suggest to a person, any age, that seriously wants to get clean? How would you recommend sobriety to them?
I would say the first step is admitting to yourself that you have a problem. And sometimes that's the hardest part, is admitting to yourself that you do have a problem with drugs. And, you know, like I said, that's the hardest part. So the next step after that is going through whatever emotional barriers you have to break through in order to have the strength to get up and go seek the help that you need.
So growing up here in Vegas, what's one of your greatest childhood memories?
My greatest childhood memory is being with my dad. You know, spending a lot of quality time, family time together, going out of state, taking trips, you know, and those were the good days.
What kind of man was he?
My dad was a very responsible man, very quiet man, but a very, very classic man. Very close to me. We were very close.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You had any talents in school? Did you play in a band or sports? Or
I didn't play in a band. I didn't play sports. I played the keyboard for a little bit, but my talent was choir. I like to sing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Can you share something with us?
I can, but I'm not going to right now because I'm not prepared. But if I see you again, yeah.
Oh, man, I always got to ask that, if you can sing. I love music. What were you listening to back in the day?
Back in the day, R&B, hip-hop, slow jams, you know, a lot of Brandy, Monica, I mean, a little bit of everything, little Jay-Z, you know, whatever came up. New Edition? No, I'm not there yet. I mean, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Yeah, that's my sister's era.
The reason I asked that was because the last guest I had was crazy about New Edition. Okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite bands, too.
Cool.
What's your ultimate favorite song that you can listen to nonstop?
By Monica, Angel of Mine.
Okay.
Let me see. Third Eye Indigo is good too if you're a spiritualist, if you're like conscious. They're good. That's a good group to listen to.
Okay.
And then who else? Mahalia.
Uh-huh.
It just depends, you know.
Okay. Are you religious at all?
I am not religious, but I do believe in many different religions, ways of life, and belief systems.
Like a higher power?
Yeah, most definitely.
That's good. So you're obviously doing okay. You have a place to live. You're looking for a job.
Yes.
You're obviously very articulate and smart.
Thank you.
What was your dream when you were a child? What did you aspire to become?
When I was a child, of course, I wanted to be a singer. But more realistically, which I wish I would have accomplished, was becoming a forensic scientist. I think it would have been possible had I not, you know, dabbled in drugs, but at the same time, I don't know if I would have had the opportunity. And then it went from that to me wanting to become a drug rehabilitation counselor. And I got a taste of that, and that's not easy when you're dealing with adults. So
what influenced you to the field of forensic science?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think it was just kind of what I watched. I think it was the television that influenced me the most, is just really liking crime shows and wanting to help like the people, wanting the world to be a better place, I think is what did it for me.
Which crime shows?
The First 48.
That's
of course,
and
yeah, you know, it's always, that's one of everybody's favorite shows back in the day.
Murder 360 was one of my, I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
What's it called?
Murder 360, I think.
Murder 360, I've heard of it, I haven't watched it.
Forensic Files.
Don't forget Unsolved Mysteries.
That one?
That was the one we grew up watching.
Did you ever see that movie, Silence of the Lambs?
Yes, I have. Scary.
That's what influenced me to want to do that for a while.
Yeah.
When you were younger and you were using heavy, you think there was you were using to fill some voids in your life?
Yes, of course, yeah.
What do you think those were?
I think one was not having my dad around. Like I said, he died when I was 13. So we were very close. So when he died, there was like this empty space in my heart. My mom was busy, always working. And so it was just a matter of not knowing what to do with myself. And so I found friends that obviously knew how to numb their pain. And that's what I held on to over the years, is just needing and wanting to have a solution to my pain. And that's by numbing it, by reaching for what I know is not good for me.
All right. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of rain, but we'll take care of that.
Yeah.
What was one of the worst things that's ever happened to you when you were using?
One of the worst things, there's domestic violence, but I think one of the worst things, was pertaining to my health. I had a really bad kidney infection, and the doctors told me I almost died. So I was in the hospital for a little bit, and I was in a lot of pain, but thankfully I was able to overcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you ever assaulted or anything by anybody on the streets?
No.
Okay. You weren't really homeless though, right?
I wasn't homeless. I always had a place to stay.
Okay.
I always had, my family in my life, basically. So I didn't have to be on the streets like I see so many others.
What kind of withdrawals were you having when your drugs weren't around?
The drugs were not around. For the most part, it was okay. But once you become more of an addict, you get really angry. Okay. And it becomes like a thing where you need to function. You don't realize it, but you get really mad. Everybody's against you. You definitely take on some psychosis.
And how far did you get in school?
I got all the way up to the 9th grade. I went back to school probably for my 10th grade year, and then I dropped out and ended up going back to get my GED, I think when I was like 26 or 27.
Okay. What would you tell your teenage version about getting into drugs?
I would tell my teenage self to stay away from adults, stay away from older people, older men. Stay out of the streets and just stay focused on what it was you wanted to accomplish.
What do you want to say to your kids?
What I want to say to my kids?
Yeah.
I love you. They know I love them. They see me go through a lot. They see me overcoming. So they're proud of me too. And you know, it's a good thing to see us all overcoming together.
What are you most proud of?
Pertaining to what? Like,
oh, about your life, your accomplishment.
I'm most proud of myself for being able to overcome. I'm most proud of myself for being able to still raise intelligent, strong-minded kids throughout the whole entire process by myself. So, you know, I feel like it takes a great deal of strength in order to do that.
It does. Congratulations again. What? How many fathers? One father or
two?
Two fathers. Are they involved?
One's not. One is becoming more involved.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you ever get urges to use again?
I don't. It's been quite some time. And it's funny that I see you today because today it was one of those psychological things where you kind of have to battle yourself. Like, let me make sure I stay away from people. If I see somebody I know, I'll go the other direction just so you don't get that urge. Because you don't want that type of energy around you when you're trying to stay clean.
You would be a great therapist or a counselor.
Oh, thank you.
Drug and rehab counselor.
Thank you.
I met a lady today by the name of Katrina. I think she works for the Nevada Alliance. I'm not sure the name of it, but maybe I can get her to contact you and she can guide you.
Sure.
To get into that. She had some felonies and all kinds of charges against her.
Really?
But she was able to go to school, she's working on her doctorate, and she's running an organization here in Nevada that helps the homeless.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll get you in contact with her.
Sure. I'd like that.
All right. What's your favorite color?
Purple.
Why is that? Prince?
No, but that was my mom's favorite artist growing up, I swear.
Prince, yeah.
It's just a nice color. You know, they say purple and gold is the color of kings and queens, so I try to keep that in mind.
What's the first thing you think about when you wake up?
Life. I think about how blessed I am, how lucky I am to still be here.
Yeah. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
I don't eat ice cream.
You don't?
No.
Favorite food?
Favorite food? Oh, Italian and Mexican. It doesn't matter really. I just like food. Food's good.
Who doesn't?
I'm a foodie.
Yeah. I already asked you this, but song you don't get sick of?
I can't tell you one right now. Right now I kind of cut off the music.
Did you?
Yeah, a little bit.
You cut off music right now?
I did. I want to find something that is not so basic, not so, you know, expected. So I'm still looking. I'm still seeking good music.
Now you're stable now. You have income and you're okay.
I'm almost having income. I'm still seeking it, but yeah, I'm okay.
Tell you what, we have a lot of wonderful subscribers that enjoy reaching out to some of our guests, a lot of our guests, and I think you're one of them. Can we get an email address or some contact information from you?
Yeah, you want me to throw it out there?
Email, yeah.
Let's do ccsulli88@gmail.com.
Who's your celebrity crush when you're a kid?
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel, yeah.
Is he still around?
He's still around.
What brings you joy?
A lot of things bring me joy.
Yeah.
You see, the sun brings me joy. Being in warm environments, my kids, food, my family,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
If you could teach something, what would that be?
If I could teach something,
Yeah. You could think about it.
let me think about that. Maybe how to accomplish like meeting conscious people, like conscious connections.
Okay. What's your deepest values?
My deepest values? My family's very valuable. You'll hear me say that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
My family is very valuable to me.
Tell us something memorable about you.
Something memorable about me? I feel like I'm a very unique and conscious person who was put on this world to help those who, you know, are in need. Help those who are seeking something much deeper than what the average person can share with them.
Where would you like to see yourself in 2 years?
In 2 years, I'd like to see myself in my own business.
What kind of business is that?
Food and beverage or a tumbler business. I don't know yet. There's multiple that
Tumbler
I like.
business? That's cool.
Tumbler, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you.
You have any questions for me?
No, not yet, but if I do, I'll reach out.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, you too.